My name is Mara Minikin, and I started the Good Chocolatier out of a desire for a true feel-good chocolate that wouldn't come at the cost of the environment or other people. So today we are a mission-driven company. We make healthy and ethical craft chocolates while also providing employment for neurodiverse adults. Our goal is to source a cacao that is truly unique in origin and flavor, just like the red wine, so our bars can stand out, and then processes in a way that we actually don't lose any of that complex flavor of that specific bean or any of the nutrients that are present in cacao beans. So we keep our bars lightly roasted or partially raw. That's really to how we do that. And we call our bars cacao bars because we want to refer to the truest of what cacao is in nature and just process it minimally, which makes it a bar. If anyone asks you, it actually is craft chocolate. Okay, in the next few minutes, I will kind of go through some of the topics that make our bar really, really unique and that hopefully you have a very easy time selling them. Health benefits, because we claim it's so healthy, you need to approve how. Lightly roasted, because it's not very a familiar term in chocolate. Then why customers buy our products, comparable bars you sell, certifications we have very briefly, and then I will all wrap it up with our story and a bit more about our social enterprise, and I will go through some of the bars that we offer. Okay, here we go. Okay, now let's start with the health benefits. So the first thing I always mention, our chocolates are refined sugar free. And reason being, I learned from a French chocolatier who was diabetic. So I've only ever learned how to make chocolate with non-refined sugars. And the sugars we chose very wisely are all sugars that naturally don't cause an insulin spike as high as refined sugars or cane sugars. So coconut sugar just happens to be an amazing option because it tastes as sweet as cane sugar. It has a great amount of nutrients. It tastes amazing, but it has only half the GI. So that's our main sweetener, but then we also use maple syrups, dates, and honey to sweeten our bars and reduce it all together much more by adding some monk fruit. Our bars are also soy-free and gluten-free, exclusively all of them. And our cocoa is from southern Ecuador, so it's a criollo bean. It has very, very beautiful flavor notes, but it also comes from very nutritious soil. It grows in permaculture style, and that's really only true from craft chocolate cacao origins because we don't source from the big guys and the big farms. It's very specific farms in places that are not as scaled and as commercialized, and that also makes the bean still much healthier and nutritious. And lastly, heavy metals. Besides that, I know a lot of people are concerned with it. There was a big report coming out. Our bars are tested and it's close to zero, very, very insignificant. So if anyone ever asks, we can provide testing. They just email me or go on the website. But yeah, these bars are tasted. And so pretty much everything we do, we add or not add, is to really let people experience what cacao can truly do for you. Having the deliciousness of a chocolate bar, but not all the negative side effects like a sugar crash, feeling guilty and feeling like you're gaining weight, and all of the things that are not true for true cocoa, but are true for most commercialized chocolates. And speaking of what true cocoa really can do, it's a lot of things. But one really cool thing was that actually Pierre, when he started making the chocolate, he really wanted to know how we maintain the high antioxidant level in an end product of chocolate, because cocoa has around 200 antioxidants. And one antioxidant in particular, which is flavonoids, it's a polyphenol, and it's truly healthy for the heart. So that's why a lot of elderly people also still eat dark chocolate and don't question it. They know it's good for longevity. But my generation, I grew up with candy chocolate, so I had no clue. So antioxidants is one thing. Ours was tested. Turns out it's 6 times more healthy because of many factors that we do. But one is the lightly roasting, which I'll go into a little bit later. But just to say, like, all of these are something that is that true, just raw cacao makes you feel, and our goal is just to not mess it up in the process. And it just truly, you feel it right away in your body that it's a superfood, whereas so many other superfoods you actually don't really realize what it does to you. Cocoa will actually make you feel it right away. Now to the roasting process, and here is a good comparison, like a cacao bar versus like any general like commercialized chocolate bar. I only go into the roasting part, and there's three main parts that the roasting has an effect on. One is the flavor. Our bar, again, it's a criollo bean. It's only 5% of the world's cocoa. It's a very expensive, a very rare bean, and it's seen as one of the highest quality bean. It is seen as the highest quality, but now I know that there's also amazing other beans out there. And criollo, our criollo is known for very little bitterness. It has strong nuttiness, a little bit of bergamot notes, banana notes, and citrus in the afternote. And again, it's just like a wine tasting. There's so much to it. And the higher and the longer you roast the beans, the more neutralized that all gets. We pride ourselves in that particular bean. We pay a premium price for it, so we do not want to let these go. Second part, bitterness. It makes such a big difference how you roast the beans and how much bitterness you have at the end product. We all grew up with dark chocolate is bitter. A lot of people do not like dark chocolate because it's bitter, but 100% cocoa of high quality is actually not that bitter. It comes to the roasting process, saving money, saving time, ranking up the temperatures just to have the same amount of like chocolate notes, but it just ends up to be very acidic. Of course, chocolate has some acidity that is naturally present in it, but craft chocolatiers actually know ways and process in a way to actually evaporate that acidity and reduce it in the making process. So I have 2-year-olds liking my 995 dark chocolate. Please do not be afraid. This one, here's a honey and dates, the one you see, 85. Do try the very dark chocolates. I have so many people just saying, this does not even taste. It tastes like a 60%. It's very creamy. Where's all the bitterness? And it's really just the high quality bean and not messing it up while roasting it. And the third one is antioxidants. There's only so much heat that antioxidants can survive, and it usually is around 100 degrees Celsius or 212 Fahrenheit to 230 Fahrenheit. If you do not know that, you just roast at whatever temperature and you have chocolate notes, you're like, great, this tastes like chocolate, but actually you're left with way less antioxidants. And chocolate is a treat which I always loved so much, that is incredibly delicious, and it can be so healthy. So why not actually keeping all of these nutrients very high? Okay, now to our customers and why they really buy the bar, because a lot of the things I talk about, they obviously don't know when they first approach it. Number one thing, obviously taste. Unfortunately, there's not all the bars you have tasted before that you get in the grocery store, but people say it's creamy, it lasts much longer, the flavor lingers, you only need a little piece and you're immediately satisfied, and you don't have this urge to just continue and continue. In terms of the ethics and the values, fair trade was one of the first things that my customers said, this is so important to them. And that goes hand in hand with the ethos of our brand. They read it. A lot of people have relatives, know somebody on the spectrum, and immediately they actually fall in love with the bar, and then they try it and like, oh my God, I had no idea this is even so good. packaging, it has beautiful Canadian branding, which makes it a very truly gift-worthy product. Then allergens, I know this is getting long, but it's only 5 points. Sorry, guys. Allergens, gluten-free, soy-free, refined sugar-free, and which just make it very allergen friendly. 80% of our bars are also vegan, so there's a little bit of for everyone. And then the last point, like kind of the sugar separate, because there's a lot of people who look for refined sugar free, but also sugar alcohol free, because sugar alcohols destroy the gut. So that's kind of where we fit into the range. Now, bars to compare. The first four are craft chocolates or cacao bars. And they differentiate themselves just in the handcraftedness, where the bean is from, and obviously the price. Right on the right hand side, still really great chocolates. Most of them are refined sugar. Most of them are organic and fair trade. But why is there $5 price difference? And it's really to also kind of to compare, your small scale like organic garden versus organic label that you see, organic branding of like a large supermarket company. You can never get the same nutrient level. You do not actually directly support the farmers, you support the organization. So it has a lot to do with the values and also the sustainability of the industry. We want to support farmers. We want to make this all sustainable and have organic beans and support the soil, because we want chocolate to be around. I would say a lot of the bigger companies that are fair trade and organic, they do actually have zero connection to the farm level, and it's often actually made by one or two co-packagers in Canada and or even Switzerland and stuff, and then they just make large quantities for all of these tens of different brands, and then just it's more about the branding and one or two unique points versus the entire supply chain, like vertical integration of our values. Now to the certifications. I mentioned already fair trade. Our ingredients are 99% organic, and it just says in the back organic ingredients. And our packaging, the outside cardboard is FSC certified, the inside is ASTM certified, and it's 90 days, actually 60 days backyard compostable. So the entire packaging is environmentally friendly. And then the two things that we are, but we are not certified, is gluten-free, which is, it's actually made in a gluten-free facility with completely gluten-free equipment. And 80% of our bars are vegan. I will go over slightly 15 minutes. I'm gonna just touch briefly on the story and why I started this. It was 2015 that I came to Canada from Germany, and I met Pierre, the chocolatier, in the first week of my studies. I tasted his chocolates. He has all these like info and graph and how the healthy this is. And I was like, oh my God, how do I eat chocolate every single day in my life and have not known about all of these benefits? So I asked him to start volunteering, and 2 years later, actually, what I was studying here was community leadership and social change, and it was working with a marginalized group of society and help them integrate back. And first we got to figure out like what was even, why were they even marginalized? Why were they labeled marginalized? And a lot of it came down to having not access to jobs that would fit them. And so no matter if I was working with single moms, seniors, homeless people on the spectrum, that often they were thrilled and excited and able to work, they would just need some adjustments, and the regular like scanner of what you can do for a job would not cut the deal for them. And so they ended up being jobless and marginalized because they lived on low income and had to rely on all these government supports. So then I learned about social enterprises, and I was like, yes, that is literally how we can solve like all the social economic issues we have in Canada. Very, very optimistic. I just thought if every, in Canada is made of small and medium-sized businesses, if every business, small and medium-sized, would hire one or two people that are marginalized and give them a chance, we would not even have this problem anymore. So this was my kind of, question, and that was kind of my intent behind this. And then I just gave it a try with chocolate. Obviously, while making amazing chocolate, In 2020, I had a TEDx talk. You can look into it if you're really interested in social enterprise and what it means. But it's truly that every single bar we sell extra, and the more our company grows, it's hand in hand with the social impact we have. And in our case is hiring people on the spectrum. They cannot be possibly separated. So it's not a subscription to a tree plan company where, if I want to stop it, I can shut it off. It's nothing I can shut off. It's like into the core of our company, embedded, and that's how we operate. And so you can really rely on social enterprise being equally business and equally social impact, and not just like a charity aspect or something else. Okay, this is to our stories. Here's some of our folks that do packaging. They do all the packaging since 2018. I have 2 people now in the storefront doing customer service. I have 2 people doing e-commerce and packing orders and counting the things and checking orders. So pretty much they can do anything. They're amazing. It's just a way to train them and listen in a way of how do they learn, how do they feel comfortable, and really making adjustments according to their needs. Now we have a team of 9 part-time casual employees and 6 actually on the spectrum, and it really hasn't stopped us from growing the business and it's just they're amazing employees, and really that's why it makes sense for the business. This is what we offer, and it's our core collection, 6 different flavors, only 1 classic milk chocolate, the salted caramel. Then we go from left all the way to right. Matcha creamsicle is a vegan white chocolate, 40%. Then we go into the 60% vegan milk. Salted caramel, again, the only 50% classic milk, and then it starts 75 and all the way to 85% dark. You can read this in your own time if you want like specific sales point about certain different bars, but I think you learned a lot about the brand already. Here are our seasonal offerings. So this might be later down the road, but for every single hot chocolate holiday, we offer a bar. We have vanilla rose, the first one there for Valentine's. Easter coming up in April, then ice wine when the cherry blossoms come out here in May or so. There's summer bars, winter, fall bars. So really just customizing it towards how do we celebrate and what chocolate people are looking for. And we're also developing some new flavors, hopefully in like 4 or 5 months they will be available. Okay, so this is the common demo support, marketing, all of that. But I think we landed here. Just to take 1 more minute to summarize everything. So it's craft chocolate made with really high quality beans and emphasis on the origin and nutrient content. We are allergen friendly. The taste is very rich and complex without the bitterness. And then we have beautiful Canadian branding, which makes it an excellent gift option. And not to forget the ethos of our brand, and just that many health conscious people these days are looking for a product that goes beyond the flavor. Thank you very much. I hope this was useful. I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.